Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fox11Online.com's special draft analysis for the 2014 Packers draft. I'm Drew Smith with Packers Hall of Famer Johnnie Break. Taking a look at this year's draft class. It was an interesting draft, Johnny, because Packers didn't make any moves, but did manage to get what they needed.
Which is unusual for Trader Ted, but yeah, he went out and he got needs that a lot of the fans thought they needed to get, and that was a safety, a wide receiver, a tight end, pressure on a quarterback with a defensive lineman, a center, some more wide receivers down the line. So they went out and got physical and they got speed.
Couldn't have gone too much better for the Packers, really. With that strange draft, Ted Thompson stood pat for all 3 days, started with those 9 picks, finished with the same 9. Packers went into the draft with those needs, and immediately they got one around 1. Bit of a surprise. They ended up getting a guy they thought maybe wouldn't be there, safety HaHa Clinton-Dix. And really, I mean, this is a guy that comes with a really good pedigree, and a guy that they maybe didn't think would fall all the way to that number.
Well, they got lucky. I mean, this is a guy that he was the #1 safety up on the board. Maybe some teams shied away from because of his 4.58, 4.61, 4.62 speed. But the guy's a football player. He's a true safety. He can get to the football, very instinctive, which makes him play faster than his speed shows, and that's what they like about him.
People rely on that raw 40 number a little too much. I mean,
they do. I mean, they're looking at a guy. If you look at an athlete or you're looking for a track guy, yeah, you can go out there and get a guy that can run a 4.3, 4.4, and that's what a lot of the other safeties did run. But here's a guy who runs like probably a true 4.6 guy. But when he reacts, he's very instinctive. He knows where to be. He knows where his help's going to be, and he knows how to read pattern recognition. And he seems to be at the right place at the right time. And he's also a thumper. 3 knockouts last year in 3 straight games.
Yeah, you got to bring the lumber.
Absolutely,
as they say. Another need for the Packers was wide receiver James Jones, of course, off to the Raiders in the offseason. They found a good one in the 2nd round. In the past, they've gotten Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, all 2nd rounders. They've turned out okay. Devontae Adams is the guy we're talking about. And he was the 2nd round pick out of Fresno State. That's a high-octane offense, Johnny. He's used to catching a lot of footballs, scoring a lot of touchdowns, and moving the chains.
A la James Jones?
James Jones.
Just throw me the rock. Let me go get the ball. Paul Warfield Award winner, which means he catches a lot of football. He finds a way to get, doesn't have blazing speed, but because of his 6'1", 212, he can get off the bump. He can find himself or get out or get himself open, and he can catch the ball at the highest point.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how he's going to fit in there. He's going to have a little bit of time. Boykins now has got to really step up his game. I mean, that's kind of putting on notice, saying, "Hey, look, you're not the #3 guy. We've got another guy coming in. You'll have to earn your throws."
Well, that's with Ted Thompson. That's what he does. If you're with the Packers, Green Bay Packers coming in, you have to know that every year it's going to be a very, very competitive camp. The Packers don't just sit idle. They bring players in. If they have to let players go, so be it. But they will be at the best receivers or best athletes at that position.
Well, with the 2 3rd-round picks, they split between defense and offense, going with big bodies for both, addressing needs in both spots as well. In the first of their 3rd-round picks, Kyrie Thornton, who is a big guy, defensive lineman, 6'3", 304. Still managed a 5-second 40, but very strong inside.
Very strong upper body, plays leverage, gets underneath the pads of the lineman. Maybe might stay on blocks, but again, he is a little bit of a reach, but hey, the guy can get after the quarterback, and we'll see what he can do.
Well, Richard Rodgers out of Cal, tight end, whose dad played in the league a little bit as well. And, the question here is, can he do all 3 phases of tight end? Can he also pass block as opposed to just making catches?
Well, the knock on him was that his weight went up and down, but he fluctuated because he did whatever the coaches at the time asked him to do. Right. So, and whatever the coaches here ask him, he'll do it.
Here's what his competition is, whether he'll be able to get on the field. Andrew Corliss coming back. Jermichael Finley's still out there, but you can't really count on him because you don't know what's going to happen. So Corliss is coming back. Brandon Bostic has very little experience, though they do like him. Ryan Taylor's a special teams guy. So really, they're hoping to maybe get a little production. I don't know.
Well, you're losing right now, you don't know what, like you said, what Jermichael Finley's going to do. An all-pro tight end. Right. So you got to find some way to keep that position active.
All right, let's move on now to the 4th round, where the Packers ended up with another position they were hoping to help. A pass-rushing linebacker, Carl Bradford. Their 4th-round pick, played the devil backer at Arizona State. It was kind of a defensive end linebacker position. And of course, don't forget, it's the Sun Devils at Arizona State. That's why the devil backer. And he was able to have a lot of success there. He's had a lot of heartache. He's playing for his dad. His dad died in his arms after having a heart attack last year. But he's very motivated, big engine, and a guy that can get after it.
very passionate to the game of football. Seems to be very instinctive. You're right about the hybrid. He may be a little bit undersized, but he finds a way to make things happen, and I think that's why they went after him.
Also in the 5th round, and moving to the 5th and 6th rounds now, Jared Abbrederis before the draft could only dream of playing for the Packers, and for him, his dream will come true in that first minicamp. He's going to pull on those green and gold uniform. He was the 2nd pick of the 5th round. The first one, a center, and not only that, Johnny, as you mentioned before, a true center.
Just like you go back to Ha Clinton, a true safety. You don't have to work on how to teach him technique or anything. He knows all those things. Right now, get him ready to play game situations, and I think that's James Campen. They're excited about being able to have a true center there.
Corey Linsley's going to do that. First team All Big Ten guy, so he's a guy that has been very successful in college. And then Jared Abbrederis, he does have concussion issues sometimes, but they're going to try to make him very versatile and possibility of returning kicks.
They like to get him to be a little bit stronger. He's a little weak. I think he's maybe 6 or 7 times on the bench, but he finds a way to get open against the best corners, and especially in the Big Ten. And when you can do that, when people are giving you the downside, he's got to like him.
And when you get to those 6th and 7th rounds, kind of a roll of the dice, kind of hoping to strike some gold. Packers have gotten guys like Mark Tauscher, Donald Driver in the 7th round, so you never know. And for their late round picks, they had one in the 6th, one in the 7th. Dimitri Goodson out of Baylor. He's a guy who converted. He was a basketball player for Gonzaga for 3 seasons, but then decided, you know what, I'm going to switch. I'm going to go to football. Went to played at Baylor and became corner.
And a good corner.
Yeah.
His dad or his brother, I think, played football. His dad played football. So there's some lineage there at that in his family. So very good athlete, and I'm anxious to see what he can do.
You hope he's a good jumper too.
Well, yes.
But basketball player.
He's got quick feet.
Exactly. Exactly. Then another wide receiver as the final pick as well. So 3 wide receivers in this draft as well. Anything that the Packers missed in this draft?
I do not think they missed anything. They needed to get an All-Pro, or needed to get a tight end to fill the All-Pro spot where Jermichael Finley may be gone. He wanted the safety position was horrible last year. They've upgraded that. They went out and got a center. You also, when you talk about wide receiver, they did go out and get a wide receiver because of the loss of James Jones. But Drew, they went there. That last pick was Jeff Janis, 6'3", runs a 4.3. Some odd 40,
4.37, sure.
4.37. You got speed. How many times we heard last year, the last couple of years, well, those safeties are playing back. We can't get over the top. Well, now you got a receiver that's going to push down. Now you got some receivers underneath. It's going to be interesting to see how the season goes.
Well, we will see.
How they used Jeff in this situation.
Training camp coming up just a few months away.
I'm excited, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Rookie camp coming up, and they're going to really get going as now the draft is finally over. For Packers Hall of Famer Johnnie Gray, I'm Drew Smith. Thanks for watching our draft analysis here on Fox11Online.com.